TGIF. Hope you all have had a wonderful week. I know you are ready for the weekend to begin. So, welcome to the Just Ask Char advice channel. We will be getting started very soon. So get comfortable, get ready, and relax. We sincerely thank you all for your support. This channel is sponsored by you, the subscribers. When you want to hear another perspective for yourself or a friend, then just send an email for advice to JustAskChar@gmail.com. All right, we are ready to get this show started. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Tell a friend. There will always be a perspective or some advice that someone can benefit from and use. Now, here's your host of the show, Char Willie.
Greetings, TGIF everyone. How are you? What's going on and what is happening? Have you had a great week? I sure hope so. And my week seemed to be a little bit long. However, the weather is now great. Monday and Tuesday it was hot, had that air on, and it was just too much for me. It got me cold, which got me coughing, and I turned it off, and just the regular fan was just too warm because of the humidity. That got me coughing. So I had to deal with that Monday and Tuesday. But pretty much Wednesday through now, free air conditioning. Haven't been any higher than 73 degrees. Just perfect. That's my perfect weather right there. I love it. But I am happy it's Friday. Happier than a brother getting out of jail. That's right.
Look at her. We gon' talk this thing over.
That's right. That's Friday. That's how happy I am. Yes, yes, indeed. And just so happened, it's my first time playing it on the channel. And I think this will be part of my theme. I love it. I do. And I'm just happened to be watching the show The Wire. And just so happened I am on season 3, episode 4, when Avon gets out of jail. And I think he's happy just like this too. I think so. So it just happened to be a coincidence. Oh yeah. Now that's happy. That is happy. What else I got for you guys? What I want to tell you. Decided to be in my theme. Oh, let me tell you about the internet. Now this is what I like to know. Maybe you guys have the answer. I can't find the answer. I'm looking for it, but I just can't find it. How is it that every year your internet increases? That's what I like to know. Why does the bill increase yearly, annually, and nothing else changes? The speed doesn't increase, just the bill. That's what I like to know. So I happened to look at my bill and like, oh, $15 more. Why? Just why? And I was told, it's the annual increase, which I know. And a trick I used to use, I just got tired a few years ago. But the trick is every year I just call in right before it's about to switch over. And they don't want to give me a new price, of course. They're like, oh, well, it increases. And then I said, okay, well, I'm going to have to cancel. Come back in 30 days as a new customer. So, if this is what you want to go through, this is what we'll go through. And I just got tired of doing it. That's all. So, what I did, I just listened to the operator to see what he could do for me. Because, it's always, let's see what we can do for you, Miss Willie. Yeah, right. So there was some typing and nothing. Sorry, we can't help you. Okay. What else you got for me? Then there was some more typing and some more typing and oh yeah, I tried this. This didn't work either. Let me check one more thing. They checked one more thing and they tried and they looked. And what ended up happening is nothing. This is just how it is. I said, okay. So just happened. I happen to have an ace in the hole, as they say. One of the guys that come out, the technicians, he was cool. He likes me, so he gave me a tip. So it's time for me to pull that tip out. And I said, okay, what about the other offer that isn't advertised, but it's only in-house? Okay, well, let me check that out. So he typed, and sure enough, he came back and said, oh, okay, I'm able to help you out. Um, the bill will be $5 more and will decrease the speed. So this is what happened, everyone. They decreased my speed by 80%. 80%, 80%, and still got an increase of $5 per month. Oh yeah, they were gonna get that $60 extra a year. I sure wasn't gonna pay no extra $15 a year. I wasn't gonna do that. You want to get a couple of hundreds out of me for the same internet. It's not any more valuable, so stop it. Just please, just stop it. So I don't know what the reasoning is with that, except for, hey, that's just what they're going to do to customers. They got you in, they want to keep you, so they say. But why would you increase? This is, it's not from taxes, which it did increase. What month was that? I think last year around September, October, it increased because of taxes with the state. So you already got that, which I understand it may not go to them. But all these darn increases, I'm like, here we go. I'm tired of it. Leave me alone. Go on, get on somewhere. And the last thing I want to mention, darn internet. Anyway, the last thing I want to mention is about greed and poverty. What made me think about this is while I was watching the show, that people were doing the same thing. They were stealing, either because of greed or poverty. You know, same result. What we got going on now, we have ransomware going on. There's so much insurance fraud, people just stealing. You're getting all of this. And I thought that was pretty interesting. I said, I'm going to meditate on that and see if I can do a show on it. Maybe I can find something and make it a topic. All right, so enough of that. And thank you so much, you guys. I appreciate you always for tuning in this Friday evening. And without further ado, we're going to bring up the Canadian Jamaican lady. Yes, we are. Who are we talking about? You know who we're talking about.
Stay down there, girl. Stay down there.
One day I'm going to learn how to put that much urgency in my voice while saying something that irrelevant. It's going to be great. Watch, you guys will see. I'm going to go something like, y'all, click the like button. And you're all going to be like, oh, damn, I better click that like button. This is serious. You hear that? How you doing this evening, Char?
I am pretty well. How are you?
Not too shabby, not too shabby. I'm going to tell y'all something now. You didn't hear this from me, but I work for a very, very big telecommunications company here in Canada. And so I learned a few tricks from working there. And the first thing I learned is this. Companies are, even before, like, let's say one of the competing companies come out with their plans, we tend to know, right? All of their competitors know that plan's coming out. And they have a fail-safe for it, okay? So the problem is, though, is that you can only get the fail-safe if you know what that new sign-up deal is, right? Because a lot of people know, right? Because the trick is, you call and say, I'm going to cancel my service. Why? I'm not happy, right? That's how you get special free perks, right? But I'm the kind of customer that in the last over a decade, I've signed one contract to get one phone. Otherwise, I've gotten 5 new phones, no contracts. Every time I get new phones, I get new special plans, discounts, whatever. I don't sign any contracts. I don't agree to nothing, right? Because I figured out the hustle. So this is what you do. You have to find out whatever TELUS or Rogers or Verizon or whatever the company is, what are they offering? And how much better is it than what you're getting, right? And then you say, hi, I'm going to cancel my service. They're going to ask you why. You're going to say, well, I'm going to switch over to so-and-so because for the same price I'm paying now, I get this, this, and this. Now, at that point, even if they let you cancel, right? It's never like immediately. It's like 30 days away or whatever. But then that request gets sent to our company called it the churn department. And it's basically the department. It's cheaper to keep a customer than it is to bring in new customers. They know this, right? But they have to, A, think you're serious, and B, that the threat is serious. So it goes to the churn department. If it's noted on your account, oh, the new Verizon special. Crap. Okay. Well, they have a fix for that. It's the new Verizon special plan that only the churn department can give out. Only they can give out, only they can even see and have access to, and only in case a customer is trying to leave to go to Verizon to get that special plan. You see what I'm saying? So you got to do your research first, and then you have to call their bluff. You have to be willing to go up in there and cancel
Mhm.
and let the cancellation start riding through so it can get to the correct department to call you back with the special plan that regular representatives don't have access to. That's the trick. Yes. So just for
Mhm.
next time, just so you know, there are tricks to the trade. Hustle, hustle, hustle. See,
Okay.
you only get this information over here on Just Ask Char, y'all. Okay, we always try to save you some money. So just saying.
Yeah, I do know you have to be serious about canceling, and like I said, I got tired of doing it for a while, and I think for let me see, a couple of years I just said forget it because I got a low price, and I just said forget it. But
Mm,
now I'm with a different company, and because I'm streaming now, um, and more often, I have to have a certain speed and all that kind of stuff. So I
mm-hmm.
just said, but I'm gonna be ready for them next time. Oh, I'm
Oh
ready.
yeah, right. These people are something else. Like it was early last year. Finally in Canada. Y'all have to understand. In Canada, we have never had unlimited internet ever. It just doesn't exist. But suddenly it did. But if you were on contract, the plan was an extra 25 or $30 a month, no matter what plan it was, if you were on contract. And like I said, I signed that one contract to get that one phone. It was a dire emergency. And even then, I still got an extra $200 off of the phone because it was when the whatever phone I have, S9 Plus, was brand new. So I was on a contract still. So they're trying to tell me I have to pay an extra $30. And I'm like, Mr. Ruby doesn't have to pay that extra $30. Why? Well, Mr. Ruby's phone is not on contract. Oh, okay, cool. I'd like to cancel my contract. They're like, but your contract's only 6 months long. Yeah, but I'm not paying an extra $30 a month for 6 months. I don't care. Like, it's the principle. You don't understand how
Hmm.
much I will not let these people. I paid out my contract so that way I could get the $30 a month cheaper plan indefinitely. Because remember, they're trying to make you think, oh, well, you have to pay all this money up front. Yeah. But if I don't, in 6 months from now, my plan still costs more money, right? And I'm probably not going to be able to get this special deal in 6 months. And my plan will still be $30 more expensive because I'm on a contract now. I would rather save myself $30 a month forever, even if it means I have to pay out $150 now. Like, these people don't play with me. You can go through my records, they know. I don't play. I will take myself off contracts, I'll pay out things, I'll listen. No. They already know when they see me, they go, oh, this girl. All right, what are we gonna have to give her today? They already know, right? I'm not playing with you. So,
I don't blame you. I do
mm-hmm,
not blame you. I had canceled a contract because they went up in the price, and then when I had called about a problem, they were playing games with me. So I just said I'm not even going to stick with this company. I didn't even
mm-hmm,
have them for 90 days, so I just paid the contract out and say good riddance.
right. I switched companies to begin with because the company that I was with originally did not carry the cell phone that I wanted. They just didn't have it. So
Mm.
I literally canceled all my services with company A to switch to the company I'm with now and brought all my services over to get one cell phone. That's literally
Oh,
what I did. Yeah, no, for real. I'm like,
okay.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's like calling my bluff. You can't because I'm serious and I will spite myself to prove that point. So what are we doing here? Want to play chicken? Want to play chicken?
Womp womp.
Right?
Yeah, I'm
Hmm.
bad like that too. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Cut off my nose to spite my face. I know
Okay.
that's saying because they say it about me. It is what it is.
Yeah, as my friend said, I'm not going to do that. I'm like, well, unfortunately, I would.
Right? So it is what it is.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Well, tonight, ladies and gents, I brought the man to you that he actually wanted some advice about getting the woman back, and he said he kind of cheated on her.
How do you kind of cheat?
I don't know. That's what he said. So, I'm just going to let him explain it. Yeah.
Alrighty then. Mm.
And here we go.
Oh God. What's your name, baby?
I'm Keanu, but everybody call me Ace. How you doing?
Good. Everybody call you what?
Ace, A-C-E.
Ace?
Yeah. I got on a live. I'm not looking for nobody. I need relationship advice. Is this a live for that, or is this a bad time?
This is for you looking. So you already have a girlfriend?
No. I just got out of a breakup. I was looking for relationship advice. That's why I came on here.
I don't necessarily do that, but what's the situation?
Okay, so, oh my God. All right, so I ain't gonna hold up all your time. All right, basically what happened with me was, okay, I was dealing with this girl. Okay, we're gonna call her this girl for right now. And long story short, we were dealing with each other for about 4 years, and I kind of like stepped out and cheated on her.
How do you kind of step out? You fell on somebody's vagina and your penis went inside of it? That's how you kind of cheated?
All right. Kind of. I ain't gonna say I kind of did it. I did cheat on her.
Thank you. Okay.
Cheated on her, definitely. But I cheated on her with an ex-girlfriend of mine while she was 8.5 months pregnant.
While who was pregnant?
My ex-girlfriend.
So you were in a relationship with a girl who was pregnant by you, and you cheated on her with your ex-girlfriend.
There you go. You got it. You got it. All right. So basically, I did that, and she forgave me for it. We kind of got past it as the baby came, but like it really didn't. How can I put this? It didn't really sit well. Like I did it, and we were still together. We were still together for about maybe 2 years after that. But as we were still together, that really like conflicted and restricted a lot of things that was in our relationship. And I told her I'd never do it again, this, that, and the third, but I kind of stepped out.
No, don't say kinda. You did it again.
I did it again.
With the same girl?
Yeah. So
why don't you just be with that girl? Because it seems like you want to be with her.
I don't love that girl. See, the thing is, I'm not going to say I was stupid. I was kind of, how can I put this? Kind of like weak in a way.
So what's the advice you want to know? What's the question?
I want to know, okay, this is what I want to know. All right, so I did all of those things, and now the girl that I was with, she's moved on. She's with another person. We have a daughter together, this, that, and the third, and I'm totally happy for her. I'm good with that. I'm happy for her, you know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, I do want her back, but I know I hurt her, so it's going to be kind of hard for me to really trying to build and really get back to that we used to be. So the advice I'm looking for is, I don't think I can get her back, but the way that we speak and the way that we talk to each other, I feel like that there is a little bit of a window for me.
So she has a new man.
Welcome, Vonda.
Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey, Char. Hey, Ruby. How are you guys doing? Thanks for having me.
Anytime. Welcome.
Anyone notice everything he said was kinda, except for when he said he was totally happy for her, right?
This dude, he to me, he's already starting out of the gate, in a bad way. The whole fact of the matter is that he wants her back. She's not, trying to get him back, apparently, from what we've just heard. He wants her back. But this fool won't even just flat out say, I cheated on her. I was wrong. I was this, that, and the third. It was, no, I kind of cheated on her when she was 8 months pregnant. Do you know that is like a horrific time? If there's any other time, not that it's all horrific to cheat on a woman, but when she's 8 months pregnant and she feels fat and bloated and stuffed and swollen and unattractive and really, but he kind of stuck his penis in another vagina while she was 8 months pregnant.
Kinda.
Right, but he's totally happy for her that she moved on. Except the advice he's looking for is that he's trying to get her back, but totally happy for her, right? But he only kind of cheated twice.
I'm sorry, just him even starting out. I don't have much hopes for it. He's already a liar, He's already not facing what he did. And to be honest, when it comes to advice to getting someone back that you cheated on, there's no advice to give, because either the person's going to take you back or they're not. There's nothing that you can do. There's no building that you can jump off. There's nothing that you can buy. I mean, okay, in Kobe Bryant's instance, he cheated on his wife, went through a whole rape trial. He bought her a $4 million ring, and we don't know all the other stuff he bought with that. That's one thing. But this dude is not Kobe Bryant. He's not even Kobe Smith. So with that being said, I don't think there's anything that he can do. There's nothing that he can do. If she wanted to forgive you, then she would forgive you. He could make his plea to her, but it's so funny because women are more likely to forgive a man for cheating than a man is to forgive a woman, because with a woman, cheats on a man, it's one and done. He's out of there. He don't want to see her no more. He don't even want to sit on the same chair she sat in. She's disgusting. She's dirty. But a man kind of cheats on his 8-month pregnant girlfriend. I need advice to get her back. There's no advice to get her back. There's no advice to be given.
You know what? I mean, to an extent, I agree with you, but I'm going to say this. I think that there's always one magical thing, one thing that you could do to earn anybody back, to get anyone back. There is. Now, I couldn't tell him. You couldn't tell. The only person who could technically tell him would be her. But she can't tell him, because if she told him, it would defeat the whole purpose. He would have to, on his own, magically do that, become a completely different person who's not him, go through whatever it is, whatever trial of fire she needs him to go through, get to the other side of it, become this changed, learned person who now understands the error of his ways and is now this, and this, and this. And then, yeah, she would absolutely take him back. But the problem is, I don't think that he's the type of person who listens and connects enough to anything or anyone, let alone his pregnant girlfriend, to know enough about her to even know what it is that she would need for him to do. And no one could give him that answer except for her. And I'm sure she did at some point. At some point, she told him all the things he's doing wrong, or that he's slacking on, or that need improvement. He knows all the broken promises and lies he's told. He knows, other than cheating, because the thing is, if you're deliriously happy, right, every other box is checked, and then your man cheats on you, and you're pregnant with his kid, there's a good chance that you're going to say, you know what, maybe we should try to work this out, because you're deliriously happy otherwise. You're about to have his kid in this world, right? And it's like, okay, he messed up on one thing, right? As a woman, when your man cheats on you, but everything else is messed up, right? Then you're like, no, well, what the hell's the point of this, right? Like I was tolerating all the other messed up stuff because I was like, well, at least he's loyal. So when you threw that one away, then it's like there's no point in you anymore. So, I mean, it seems to me like he would have to go to therapy, work through all of his bullshit. I mean, this would be years down the line before she would ever look at him again. And he doesn't take enough accountability or responsibility for himself or his actions or his choices or even his feelings, which is why he literally says the opposite or mitigates everything he says. That's why he only kind of cheated. Then he kind of cheated again, and he kind of this and he kind of that, which were all, he definitely did those things. And then the one time he totally did something is the one time it's complete bullshit. You're not totally happy for someone you want back, right? You're not happy for her at all. You hope she gets miserable with that guy, so she leaves him and comes back to you. Like, stop lying. So he's lying to himself. He's lying to her. He's lying to the world. Like, he doesn't need a relationship. He needs therapy. That's what he needs.
He needs something. Because I listened, he says 4 years they were together.
Mm-hmm.
Now, out of 4 years, there's a child. He cheats. She forgives him. Start over or continue, whichever way you like to look at it. And 2 more years go by, and he does it again, whether it's the same woman or not. But
Mm-hmm.
It happens to be the same woman. And he uses the excuse of weak. So, what is that all about? Um, I don't know, but let's listen to a little bit more and see what else he got.
All right.
Yeah.
If I was her, I wouldn't go back to you because you cheated on her twice with the same girl. One time while she was pregnant, which is completely disrespectful, and you had to see what she went through, had the baby, and you probably only want her back because she got a new man.
No. See, no. We're not gonna do that. Nah, I'm totally for her being happy. The new guy ain't got nothing to do with it.
So you're saying if you got a third chance, because it's not gonna be your second chance,
right?
If you got a third chance with her. Now you ready to be faithful and never cheat on her again.
Yeah. And yeah.
You don't even
yeah.
Is that true? Is that fact?
Yeah, I mean, like, it's deeper because I know I don't have a lot of time and I don't have a lot of time to get deep into it, but it's really deeper than what I'm explaining. Like, it's a lot of things that I should have put in the conversation that I didn't, but like, really what it is that I know what I did and I know for sure that possibly there's no way I can reconcile and come back from what I did. Like, and I'm okay with that and I accept that. But I feel like by there not really being the closure, like she hasn't really told me that, even though she's with somebody else, she hasn't really told me that, okay, I can never deal with you on that level again. It's more of a maybe it is and maybe it
isn't. I mean, everybody in the comments are saying for you to leave her alone. If I was her, I would not go back to you because your history doesn't show that you could give her what she deserves, right? But if you're saying there's a window, have the conversation. Have the direct conversation and see what she says. Personally, if she was on this live and she was talking to me, I would tell her to enjoy her new man if he's treating her the way she deserves to be treated. Right. But you saying you feel like you can still hit in so many ways.
No, come on now. It's not on it. Just
so what y'all gonna get together and play spades? I mean, what we talking about? If you get back with her, you gonna have sex with her, right?
No. It's not about sex. It's about that. Okay, I know what I did, and I know that what I did set forth this motion of events that I'm going through right now. You get what I'm saying? What I'm at is, okay, if there is an opportunity for me, or if there isn't, let me know. But since you haven't, should I move on? Should I just, you know what I'm saying, like just be like, just let that go? Or
well, no, communication is key, right? I personally think she should not give you another chance, especially if you found another guy.
Why
you said you cheated on her while she was 8 months pregnant, had the baby, and cheated on her again with the same girl. Like, I believe in no comebacks. Like,
that sounds like me. Just in time, Don Teasy. Ha ha ha. What's weird is, what is this? He wants to know if he should move on.
Dude, move on. Take your raggedy penis and your cheating ways and just move on. What he wants to do is he wants to solidify and secure for a fact 120% that she doesn't want to get back with him, because what he did, he knows he messed up on a good woman. She's not a bad woman. He didn't cheat on her because she wasn't a piece of shit. He cheated on her because he was the piece of shit. You know, so there was nothing wrong with her. You know, the woman, it wasn't because she was pregnant, it had nothing to do with that. The opportunity arose where he could, you know, dip his stick, you know, in another place he's been before, and apparently he liked it because he went back, you know. So it's not even, you know, that, you know, I love her and I want to give. It's like, you know what, I really messed up a good thing. This woman, you know, I did care about her. She was a good woman. I did some foolish stuff. I just want to make for sure, you know, for certain that, you know, we're not going to be together anymore. And that way I can just kind of close that chapter. And you know what? To be honest, she doesn't even owe him that. Dude, you're the one who cheated. She doesn't owe him an explanation. She doesn't owe him a story. She doesn't owe him a conversation. She doesn't owe him anything with regards to getting back in a relationship, especially if he's not going to just come straight, and clean with it. Because asking for the advice, he's already beaten around the bush and he's lying. He's not even being truthful. So he's already trying to shady his way back into this woman's life. And it sounds like she's not about that. She's not about the BS. We got a kid and it's already not working. And I don't want to have to worry about you bringing me STDs because, a man will, raw dog with a brand new woman. So for damn sure he raw dogging with a woman he been with before, an ex-baby mama or whatever. Oh, he's not putting nothing on there. So now you got to sleep with his baby mama too? And you know what? That's a violation. I'm not playing. And don't be coming over here dipping your raggedy stick over here because it's tainted.
You know what? Another thing is, like, if you look at body language, just basic knowledge of body language to see if someone's being deceptive or open or whatever. First of all, he has his hand in front of his mouth. Okay. That's something that people do when they're lying, when they're being deceptive, when they're trying to fool you, when they're trying to subconsciously mask their expressions from you. And so he also has the defensive posture with his body where he's closed off, his arms are curled up, his shoulders are hunched up, right? He's curling himself into a ball. This man is a giant ball of lie. Okay? That's all he is. He's a giant ball of lies. So I don't even believe what he's saying. He wants to know something, right? But what he's saying versus what his true intentions are, I think that they're different. Because it doesn't make any sense either. Like, the best indication for, hey, are you getting another shot anytime soon or not, has already been given to you. She gave you that answer when she started sleeping with some next man, and now they're together and that's her man, and they're all over, they're booed up on Facebook, and her relationship status has changed in a relationship with that man. And you know what? Dude, she told you indirectly. So what are you really asking? Because you kind of already know, right? Like, what are you trying to get at here?
Yeah, I'm confused on that. I'm always trying to get to the why, and there's a why, and he's not giving up that why. And I'm listening, and I don't hear that why. I'm hearing excuses. I'm hearing, well, I just want to know because she didn't really say. I mean, well, what do you want? Something in writing?
Thank you. Like, she got it. Let me go get the lawyer, and I'm gonna draw up a paper to let you know for sure that I don't want to be with your raggedy dingling self no more. It's like, dude, can you stop? I mean, if he would just come correct, like I say, he's a liar. This dude is just a straight up just liar, but he's feeling in his heart that feeling of regret or that feeling of, damn, I messed up. I messed up really bad. I'm going to see what I can do to try to repair this. And unless that woman is ready to forgive him or, she still loves him and it's like, okay, well, we do have a kid. I'll take him back. He doesn't have a chance.
See, that's the thing. I don't think he's trying to repair. Like, I don't know that he wants her back as a girlfriend. Like, maybe what he was looking for, right, is with all his baby moms, he sleeps with them still, right? Maybe that's his issue. He wants to know, is there a chance in the future where he could have that same setup with her? Where when he wants to smash after he's seen his kid, says, what's up to little dude for 5 seconds, and now he brings mom into the bedroom. Maybe that's what he's asking. Because I don't think he really wants her back, like as a girlfriend or a significant other. I don't think that's really what he's asking. I think, he's so shady about it. He knows he can't say what he really, really means, or he's just gonna get laughed off the stage or shut down or something.
Right.
I'm
reading.
Hey,
Trey.
Hey, Betty.
I'm gonna take Charger's stance on this. I'm gonna be in the a-hole corner with this one.
Nice.
All right. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So this is what I'm gonna do. here's the thing, right? Is I don't the ex-girlfriend, she wasn't pregnant either, right? The ex-girl, the girl that he cheated on, she wasn't pregnant either, was she?
Nothing was mentioned about her being pregnant
Okay.
at all.
So let's just say is one person pregnant and the woman he want to get back with, right? So now by the time he came up here to ask this woman this question, right?
Yes.
He's been having access to the vagina for a while. This woman finally got tired of it because he's been cheating on her, whatever he's doing, right? Not once, but twice. And she moved on with this other dude. But the problem is like Ruby said, he's not really going to say what he's saying. What it is an act of control, right? And what I mean is by the act of control is he's the baby daddy.
Yeah.
She's in a relationship with another dude.
Yeah.
That dude ain't the father of that child.
Correct.
Keep going.
He's always going to have access to this woman emotionally, maybe not physically, but emotionally because of the child. Right?
Okay.
And the only way that she can solidify keeping this new dude around, right? Because this dude looks like he the type of dude that's going to be real messy, and she don't fit, and it doesn't feel like she's the type of female that's going to tell him to stay the hell away. Because if he's asking this woman that's not, it doesn't know the situation, and I think she's kind of missing this too, right? Because this is on the man's side. She did not make it apparent. Just because you got a new dude does not mean that I did not have access to the vagina. Because there's a mini me walking around saying that I had access to the vagina. Yeah, you got it now, but I had it first. See, this is a man thing. This is how men think.
Can I ask a question?
No,
sorry. I don't mean to interrupt.
Yeah.
Dre, but what is it about you men that you think once you've conquered a vagina and you've been there, you done, put a baby in there, that somehow it still belongs to you. It's yours, and that you can come back and just tap it anytime you want.
Well, the thing is, Ron, it's not even the tapping of any time we want to. It's the thing like this, right? If you have a child, right? Like this is how men think. But if you go back, it's a visceral thing with the male genome, right? Animals, lions, right? If they take over the pride and they're female lionesses that have cubs, they kill the cubs immediately. So they're going heat. But it's to kill off the male offspring. But I do not want no resemblance of the old lion that was walking around here. Because I run stuff, right? And this comes a thing where it's just it's in the male psyche, right? And what happens is that if I'm walking around here and you with another dude and you got a kid with me and we separated and I haven't moved on, yeah, you got this dude over here, but if you ain't having a kid by this dude pretty soon, I still have access. That's just the male mindset. And the dude can't say nothing because you're raising my kid. You're over there, but guess what? I had it first. So everything she knows when it comes to that part of it, nigga, I taught her because she spit out a kid. Like, see, this is not a thing about women. This is a thing about men. This is a competition between men. This has nothing, that right there has nothing to do with women. Like, we understand.
But women do that too.
Yeah. Yeah,
like you never heard women do that? That's my baby daddy. If I wanted him, I could have him tonight. Anytime I call, he'll show up because he did. I hear women do that all the time. Like it seems like a thing that baby mamas and baby daddies just do. Like they think once they've produced a child for you, or we all have produced a child together, that there's an ownership, like not like an ownership, like literally I can tell you what to do with it, but more like if I beckon, you'll come. Because we shared that kid together.
And he's really coming for the child's welfare. He has to get like she done moved on, right? But here's the problem. She hasn't verbally and through her actions moved on. Right? Like she's moved on in the perception of having a new guy, right? But she hasn't like verbally stated, no, bro, this ain't happening no more. Like, yeah, you here to get the kid. If you ain't here for the kid, you need to go. We ain't got nothing to talk about other than this. Why were you on the phone other than the welfare of the child? See, that right there kills all of that. But that's not what's happening. And this is why he's seeking out a woman's advice, because she's throwing signals and they're still coming, right?
Yeah.
Now, like she said, is she would advise her to run, and she is right, because she senses what he's doing. Like, you know, this woman is giving him the advice is saying, I'm going to tell you to move on. I would tell, and she told him to his face, I would tell her, just get far away from you. And he did mention something else. He said it wasn't that I wanted to be with old girl, it was that I was weak in it, right? So what that means is that he had a dysfunctional relationship with his ex, right? But the ex, she can smash. She knows what she's doing in the bedroom. She knows what she's doing, right? Like when it comes to the 80-20 rule, like he was never taught by men the 80-20 rule. And that's why he in a situation like he doing a Neo, you know, calling in the goddamn phone booth. You ever think about me and shit? That's what he's doing right now.
You know what? To a certain degree, I will maybe agree with that. But to me, that's where it leads to the delusion in the man. Because maybe the woman that he cheated on, you know, maybe she didn't go outside her body and go crazy and cuss him out and say, oh, I'll never this, that, and the third. She just, you know, tore it off and, oh, yeah, you can come see your kid. And she's probably still cordial with him. And, you know, it's like sometimes it's like, do I really have to cuss you out and go up one side and down the other for you to understand that it ain't happening? But because I'm being a decent human being, although you weren't to me, I'm being a decent human being. I'm being cordial. I'm letting you see, you know, little JoJo. And just because we have this, you know, cordial relationship, I'm not being, a wretched, bitter baby mama. You like still think you can come up in here and just slide up in here?
You know what though, Vonda? Like I've seen, so like I have a friend, for example, right? And this is, I'll just give you this one example. And so she said that with her first child's father, right? So she had one when she was 14, 15. And then the last two she had with her fiance, like they're like 5 or 6 now. And her eldest is like 19. And so that one, though, she said that was the first person she was ever able to sit on a toilet while going number 2 and have a full-on conversation, and vice versa. Like the level of degrees of openness and lack of shame they had with each other, because they were young and just stupid in love. And, you know, then he was there for the delivery and pooping on the table during delivery and all these things. And it was like, it bonded them in a next level kind of way. And so even though, you know, she grew to like hate him over time, right? Even though it seemed like, you know, there was still that crazy to this day. Even though she hates him, hates the way he's treated her daughter and whatever, but if he walked in and she was taking a number 2, she could sit there and have a full-on conversation with him and feel no ways about it. Not have to feel like she needs to cover up with him. And I find that a lot with people who say, like women who say, like, you know, the first person they had a child with, they have like a different bond or connection with that man. And so, you know, it's not like they feel owned by that man, but almost like they just, there's not that same barrier between them as there is between you and every other man you're not currently in a relationship with.
And that's understandable. I mean, when, you know, okay, you know, when you've given birth as a woman, when you've given birth, there are no secrets. And anybody who is in that room with you giving birth to your child, anything that you got going on with your body, there are no secrets. So there's no embarrassment, there's no shyness. Everything is spread wide open and there for you to see. So when you've been with a man and you've had his child, you know, not only has he been with you intimately and he's been in the birthing room, you know, what you pushed out of your body, he put that there, and he is seeing you in like the most vulnerable state. So yeah, there is a level of comfort. And I can say that, yeah, I personally can say that, there is a level of comfort because, this is not like an Instagram live birth. So not everybody has seen your stuff and what's going on with it. And until you've gone through that, you would be surprised. Because I mean, you're a private person. Nobody walks around with their genitals just hanging out. But when you're having a baby, there's no privacy. There's no privacy. And you know what? You would not care who is there. Get this out of me. I will string one leg from one wall to the other wall to the other side to get this out of me. And I don't care who's get it out. So yeah, there's no embarrassment. So yeah, there is that bond that you can't deny it. You can't deny it. Agreed. I agree with that.
Yep. So I think you know what I'll say. It might be different too. If you've never been married, you didn't really have close family ties like that, right? Like a lot of people these days are lacking fathers, right? Then that's probably the closest, most non-sexual attachment you've ever formed, because like in that moment it's not sexual, right? Obviously it's get this baby out of me, it's someone save me from this, I can't do this. You guys are bonding on a next level, right? So I mean it could be something like that it's a deeper level that you might confuse for intimate or romantic love that you kind of can't deny. But then you wake up in the morning and you're like, oh yeah, I hate this person as soon as they start doing their regular bullshit, making the regular lies, picking their nose like normal, whatever it is that, you can't stand about the person. You're like, oh yeah, this is why we're not together. Last night, while I was on top of it, I couldn't remember why we weren't together. Now I wake up, I'm like, oh yeah, because you're you, right? But
yeah, let me play some more of this because I kind of lost my train of thought as far as what I was going to say. So let me see what you got to say. I'll rewind it back a little bit.
I was not on it. Just
so what y'all gonna get together and play spades? I mean, what we talking about? If you get back with her, you gonna have sex with her, right?
No. It's not about sex. It's about that. Okay, I know what I did, and I know that what I did set forth this motion of events that I'm going through right now. You know what I'm saying? What I'm at is, okay, if there is an opportunity for me, or if there isn't, let me know. But since you haven't, should I move on? Should I just, you know what I'm saying, like just be like, just let that go? Or
well, no, communication is
okay. Now I know what I want to say. His wording was he set off some events of what he's going through. So I'm like, okay, you're gonna go through something. Big deal. What do you want, a cookie? And it's this coded language is what's going on and what's getting me. It's too coded. Again, you were with the woman for four years. She's pregnant. You cheated. You got back with her after the birth. You all were together a total of 2 more years after that. So you were together 6 years. And then you cheated again. Then she said goodbye. And then you're gone. And then she moved on with your 2-year-old. Maybe, because who knows? Maybe she moved on a year later, 2 years later. Not quite sure how long it's been. But you have this young child. You're looking, or I don't know how much he knows of the new guy. It could be some Facebook stuff, but looking at his age, I'm like, they may be past that. I don't know. You never can tell, but he's so concerned about himself. And what's confusing, he says, should he move on? You moved on when you took your ding ding out and was with the ex-girlfriend. So you know how to move on. So
thank you, Char.
What are you really saying? And
that's not true.
He took the ding ding. and he made a choice, with the
Yeah,
ding
that's
ding.
moving. Right. That's
I,
moving on. So move
I,
on.
I
Straight.
like to raise the hand of the asshole corner for the men.
Wait a minute, let me go get my belt.
Thank you.
I'm not getting first. Let me get my belt. Hold on 1 second, Dre. I'll be right back. Let me get my belt.
Sex and emotions have nothing to do with it when it comes to men.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I'm like, because we have after nut regret.
But so you're saying that
He didn't
he
move
just haven't
on.
moved on.
No, he didn't. Like, so this is what he was
Well, that's
doing
too
wrong.
bad.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, and I'm not saying I'm like the woman was right. She needed to leave, but here was the biggest problem. One, I could tell that that this dude is young, right? Like, and when I mean young, he's probably like between 25 and maybe I say, but their whole relationship probably went around between 22 and about 27, 28. Let's just say that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Now, he might be having a rough life, so he might be about 24, right? He might look like he probably got a rough life.
Mhm.
But without that being said, the way he's acting, the way he just won't own up to it, the way he's kind of around, but he's trying to see if there's a chance. What he's getting is the enlightenment of he fucked up. And the reason why I say that is he's realizing that she is a good woman, right? And he's starting to understand the 80-20 rule, right? Like, and this one, and when Ruby's talking about fathers and father figures, this is why it's so pronounced, because men help men navigate through these feelings of dealing in relationships with women in a positive way, right? So what he's doing right now is he's asking this woman, which is, what I'm saying, a good thing to ask somebody, but he's still a man, right? And she's saying what she's saying from a female's perspective, but
Woman thinks should not be a personal attack on a man, and the way a man thinks should not be a personal attack on a woman. But it's sometimes we don't take the time to understand how each other works, and in my years, I've learned some things, so there are certain things that in general men will do, and it does not move me. It doesn't bother me one way or the other, because that's in his wiring. And sometimes I think, if we each did that, some of these stupid things we could kind of get past. The way men are wired, they are wired more physically than women are. Not saying women are not physically wired, because we like it when it feels good too. But we like it when it feels good with somebody that we really, really, really love, too. And some guys, they don't even have to like what her face looks like as long as it feels good. And that's one end. Those are two different ends of the spectrum. But that's where I'm saying, sometimes a little bit, self-control is needed, because I don't want to, be with a man that would, lay down with a wildebeest, and then want to come back and then, snuggle up and cuddle up and, stick his raggedy, and that's the definition of raggedy, stick his raggedy dingling in me, because that's just like, that's nasty. So at some point we do have to maintain control. There are those biological differences, but we do have to maintain control too.
Yeah. Standards.
Yeah.
Standards. I have this thing, right? I told my wife this when we was dating. She's like, if I ever caught you cheating, I said, if you ever caught me cheating, it's gonna be equal to, greater than, or two at the same time. And she kind of looked at me with like a wide eye on her face. I said, yeah, you can't say nothing after that, right? Like if you catch me cheat, it's not gonna be nobody less than you. I got standards. I got standards, because that would not only hurt your pride, but then you would look at me like, really, like really do it, like. And she said, well, word. And she said, huh? And I said, think about it like this. if you catch me cheating, I want you to be like, I don't blame you. Shit. Too bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't blame you. Like, oh, I get it. You know what I'm saying? I said, if you catch me cheating, I want you apologizing to me.
That's funny. That's terrible, but funny all at the same time.
Because if you get caught cheating, my uncle always told me this. He said, son, do not get caught throwing bricks at the jail. If you're going to get in trouble for some big stuff.
Okay.
Go be legendary.
I want to welcome to the panel L. Nixon. How are you?
Hey.
Hey, L. Nixon.
What's going on, good people? How y'all doing?
How are you?
Right.
Doing good. I just wanted to come up for a second. That's all. But you know what? I'll just say this. You know, as a man, I've been through some crazy situations and relationships. You know, my dad always told me, you know, he taught me what he could at the time. So I just took it upon myself to do the work, you know, go to the therapy, communication class, you know, ask people questions. It's like I was thirsty to find out, you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I'm not mad at none of my relationships because they were who they was. And as a man, I chose them. Just that simple. So
That's
when I
one way to look at it.
when I
Did you
figured it
listen
out.
to the show? Did you hear that?
Oh no, I just hopped on.
Okay.
But yeah, but when I figured it out and I went back from childhood, asked my mom questions, my dad some questions, and as a therapist say, I walked my way forward. I unlearned a lot of unhealthy stuff. So today is like when you know yourself, you ain't got to worry about or wait for people to be honest with you because you know yourself so much that you will pick up what you don't need. You will see things. You won't miss no red flags. And then something called the law of attraction will do its work. I mean, predator knows prey. People don't just go out there with a sign on their chest and say, I like to be abused. The predator know his prey. So
True.
if you carrying a certain energy, I mean, you don't have to be a total messed up person, but you have enough that's going to attract certain people. You got to start with, why do I keep being in this situation? And once you figure that out, it's cool. I hear people, men are this, women are that. And it's like, well, that's funny because my algorithm has a whole lot of positive black sites and black followers and he proposed and all that. I'm like, the negative stuff always get promoted, but how come y'all don't see all of this? And we talk about celebrities, right? They always talk about the Cardi B's and the Offset. So now I start listening to all these other couples, black couples that's been married. Oh, yeah, I forgot about them. Well, I know why you forgot about them because only the negative gets the promotion.
It's not promoted, correct.
Absolutely.
I'm going to go ahead and play some more of this clip. We're almost at the end here.
Okay.
And see what's going on with this guy.
Oh boy.
It's key, right? I personally think she should not give you another chance, especially if you found another guy.
Why
you said you cheated on her while she was 8 months pregnant, had the baby, and cheated on her again with the same girl. Like, I believe in no comebacks. Like, I mean, I'll give you a one chance, but you can't hurt me twice in the same way with the same woman. Now you lose me for life. And I would be happy that you're in this space of missing me and realizing I was a good woman, and your ass can't have me no more. Right. And you gotta live with that. That's how I would move. But I don't know this woman. I don't know her, right? I don't know her. I don't know if she still loves you and wants to be with you. So all you can simply do is just have the conversation with her.
Right.
And then see what she says. And hopefully she tells you, hell no, get the hell on.
Damn.
Her 8 months pregnant and then cheat on her again after she had a baby. So let me tell you something. It's one thing to cheat on me once, right? But I'm a firm, because I've been there, right? I've been there. I had a guy who cheated on me, got a girl pregnant. She didn't have the baby. You know, I was distraught. Then she got pregnant again. And then that time she decided to keep the baby. It was the same girl. And I felt like you saw how devastated I was the first time. For you to put me through that pain again means you don't care about me. Or you're just really selfish. Like, no, you're so selfish that your feelings of intimacy is more important than my feelings of hurt. Or this woman, you really has a hold on you because it's the same woman. So you got to go. And this is like my high school boyfriend. I kid you not, as God is my witness, this man to this day, he ended up marrying that girl, still tries to get back with me to this day. This is like a 20-year situation. No, longer than that. I had to block him and everything, but I want you to live your whole entire life knowing you missed out on the best. That's how I roll. So I don't know how you make my roll.
Okay, she roll kind of like you do. Yeah, she gonna agree with you. Definitely.
Well, listen, happy Father's Day to you. I'll say that much.
Definitely. Thank you so much.
And thank you for coming on. I ain't gonna hook up nobody because you got a lot of shit going on.
All right.
Bye, boo.
You know what though? I'll say one thing, because not for the reasons he stated he would like a closure conversation, because he didn't want a closure conversation, but I do think in this case a closure conversation would be good. Why? Hopefully, if she's a good woman, that means she's not going to sit there and just, you know, be sitting there and bashing her baby dad to the kid and whatever, right? But I think them being able to, if they literally just ended stuff, we're not talking, some third party is always dropping off the kid, it probably would be in that kid's best interest for them to have that conversation and be able to air out all of everything and, you know, just resolve everything. And now we're going to co-parent to the best of our own ability. And the reason why I say that is the kid's definitely going to benefit if the parents don't hate each other, if there's no malice between the parents, if the parents can both show up at the same birthday parties and, you know, holiday events and whatever, and, you know, without malice between them, with some type of working cordialship between them, especially because it seems like, I agree with y'all, he came to the realization, hey, she's a good woman. I let a good thing go. If he can get himself to a place where he's a good man, right, and she's not holding on to all the bitterness and the hurt of what he did to her, then, you know, you're going to have two parents who have a lot of admiration and respect for each other, even though it didn't work out. And that's going to reflect well for the kid, you know?
But that's why I say I think that they have an amicable relationship, because if she was a bitchy baby mama, the whole conversation he's having with, you know, the host would be totally different. He still sees this good woman in this woman that he did wrong on several occasions. You know, so I think I don't think that they have a bad relationship. I think he's like, damn, he double backing and he's like, damn, I think I messed up. And you know, the fact that this woman hasn't cussed him out and X'd him out, because, you know, most women, they'll be like, oh, you can't see the kid. You cheated on me because of what happened with us. You can't see our kid. He could be a great father. Horrible boyfriend, but he could be a great father. So I think that this woman, she's a decent woman. And you know what? It does not sound as if she's carrying any bitterness. But let me tell you, she has not forgotten, and he knows it.
Right.
He knows it, but she's not doing it in a way that keeps him from his child. So, you know, and some men are surprised when you're like, you can see your kid and I can talk to you calmly. And I know I did some really messed up stuff to you, but you're not giving me, can we get back together? Hell no. Hell no, we can't get back together. So he's kind of scared to even approach her. That's why he's like, okay, so what you think? You know, I did this messed up thing to her, but I mean, she don't act, she not all extra, you know, loving, but I mean, she allows me a lot of liberties, you know, that, you know, most women who have been in her position would just like, you know, color me dead. My kid didn't have a father. I'm a single mom and my kid ain't got a dad. I don't care what he does for his kid. But it doesn't sound like it's that way. And this woman, she's a good woman. And I agree with the host. She told him right. I would be like, bye. You done did me wrong a couple of times. No, thank you. It ain't going down. We will co-parent, but there's really nothing to discuss. But this guy just wanted to know how to approach it. And he got the right advice. Leave that lady alone.
And I agree. It's really nothing to talk about. It really
it's nothing to talk about.
This is old news. If the woman wasn't seeing anyone, then maybe. But what are you approaching a woman that's got a man? What are you doing
Mm.
that for?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know you're dating Charlie over there, but I just want to know if there's a chance. Chance for what? If we break up, me and Charlie, you want to be next in line? Is that what you're saying? That could be 5 years from now. Well,
Or never.
I just want to have a conversation, because I just want to make sure the door, in case that door is open. Should I move on or should I just wait those 5 years or even longer? That's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Ridiculous is beyond. I want to ask the guys. Since we have a couple guys up here, what, have you ever cheated on a woman, right? And then literally were able to make things better, make her come back to you, make her actually, or like earn her trust back to the point where if you guys did break up or when you guys did break up, it had nothing to do with that. You really were able to make it back up to her because, we had that discussion before you guys got on the panel. And I was like, no, I do think every woman has that one magical way. You could make it up to her. You could earn her forgiveness back. You could get back right with her. But you got to do it right.
And before you answer, gentlemen, don't lie because we'll know. We will know.
I'll let L. Nixon go first because it's gonna be a pearl clutching thing when I say
DeAndre.
Okay, wait a minute. Let me get my jury box. Dre, hold on a second. But don't lie because we will know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, L. Nixon, go right ahead.
Your turn.
I mean, I have one time. I did that, and then we end up. Eventually, we end up getting married. But when we divorced, it wasn't over anything like that.
Wonderful.
Okay. So then, how did you do it? Well, what was the magic trick? I mean, maybe this guy's gonna listen in, and he could try it with this girl. You don't know.
Yeah,
Well,
Tyrone is listening. What advice would you give Tyrone? Tell Tyrone, how.
I mean, well, it all depends on the woman because sometimes people who've been through a lot of stuff, they're already looking, they're traumatized to the point where they're already looking for something to happen. You know what I mean? So then when you do that, it just confirms all of their suspicions and all that. So that situation, it might take you're going to go through a lot of stuff. And, whenever they forgive you, it's not up to you. But in that situation, I didn't know what direction we were going in. There was a lot of things going on. And, I wanted to check out the relationship. I had told her some things, but, I still stayed in there and I end up messing around and she found out about it. And, we talked about it. And around that time, we just started going to church and stuff. And then she was pregnant. So, I wanted to do the right thing. We got more into church. So I wasn't out there running the streets. So pretty much all my time was at work or at home. So, I mean, I did whatever I had to do to show her that, I was serious. I didn't have locks on my phone or I didn't hide my phone or do anything like that. So I just did whatever it took. I mean, I didn't have any secrets and she knew where I was at. I made myself available. So any type of what, huh?
And can I ask a question? Okay, you say you did whatever it took. And for you, in doing whatever it took, I mean, for you, was that a sacrifice? Was that like hard? Where you just like, oh my God, it's day 3, and I have, I haven't tried to get at any woman, or now I'm on day 17. I mean, did you? I think in the mind of the man, you have to commit and just make up your mind that this is the woman I want to be with. I love her, and you're gonna come across beautiful women. Yeah. But it doesn't mean that you have to stick your penis in every beautiful woman you see or attempt to do it. Like, oh, I just want to, jab that one. I want to jab that one. You see beautiful women, but it's nice to, appreciate and be like, oh, yeah, she's nice, but I would not jeopardize this good loveliness that I have here with this woman just for, 30 seconds of a jab up over here. 30 seconds, 40 minutes. I don't know what your thing is. Everybody different.
Well, it was moving in a direction that I wanted to, like, because I wanted more of a commitment. You know what I'm saying? Like there was no direction, and I was a little confused. So when we started going to church and started doing, like, more family committed stuff, and then, like I said, then she was pregnant. So that was moving in the direction that I wanted to. So for me, it wasn't a sacrifice at all. But as far as other good looking women, my thing is this, I really don't trust people. You know what I mean? And I don't say I don't trust people, but you know, like, so I write quotes and motivation and stuff like that. And my cousin used to always have a problem. He always got caught cheating. And I always tell him this one thing I learned: the women that you cheat with will be the women that help you get caught. That's just what I believe. So it's not worth it. Women will leave clues. It's not that men are messy. It's that women will leave clues, and they'll like a certain pics. They know what things to leave behind so your girl can look. And the reason why some women know how to catch men, because they're looking in the same spots they used to hide stuff for other women to catch.
And because men are messy. Men are messy. I'm sorry. Men are messy too.
Yeah. Unless you got money.
Men are messy, and they get involved with women who don't care about your situation. The fact that you're stepping out on your situation means at that moment that, like I said, that 30 seconds or that 40 minutes that you with that chick, you didn't give a damn about your situation. And you know what? She doesn't either. She don't even know homegirl. And
that's why I speak to the whole cheating thing, right? I hear women say, once a cheater, always a cheater. And I said, okay, well, cool. And then I asked them, I said, okay, now let's be honest. How many times have you, if you didn't know when you found out, or you did know, how many times, and we'll just say one time, have you been with another woman's man? And then that's when they all get caught up. So I said, if once a cheater, always a cheater, then once a homeworker, always a homeworker. Make it make sense. You helped somebody cheat. You might have been a cheating on your man, but you helped somebody cheat. So why is it bad when it's your man that cheat, but you was okay when you were helping some other woman's man's cheat?
No, it's not the same. It's not the same. And I'll explain why it's not the same, right? Because it's the same way a man who will cheat on his wife or his girlfriend, I don't put into the same category as a guy who will sleep with a married woman who approaches him and says, hey, listen, I want to get the itch scratched. Because he didn't make a promise. The guy who's not married, the guy who's not in a relationship, he's a single person. He's out there ready to mingle, right? He didn't make a promise to nobody. He's not accountable to nobody. The person who's at fault is the person who's married or in the long-term relationship. So I'm not going to say, now, with that being said, right, there is a difference between that and the type of woman who intentionally pursues married men, right? So that way they know they have something over on him, so that way they can get what they want. That's very different than someone who happens to have some flinger affair with a married person. Well, I wasn't trying to look for a married man. I wasn't trying to pursue him. He came and pursued me. If it was me, it was going to be someone else because he was intent on cheating. He's the one who's at fault, right? Just like she's the one who's at fault. Whoever's married, whoever's the committed one, they are the one at fault, not the other person.
Well, the reason why I say it's hypocrisy is because if that's the situation and you do move on and you get a man, and if that happens to you, you're not going to have that same reasoning for another woman. When it comes, you're not going to have that same understanding for another woman when you're in a situation.
No, everybody is different though, El Nixon.
No, I think everybody.
One thing that I do agree with, and I agree with you on that, Ruby. I'm not going to say that the other woman is she's flawless, because she's just like a doorknob, and anybody can turn that handle. No, if she knows she's messing with a married man, she knows she's getting in the middle of some stuff that she really shouldn't be getting involved with. She's contributing to some bullshit in someone else's life, but she doesn't care. But at the end of the day, the onus is on that married, committed person. Right. You already know from the moment you wake up until the moment you lay your freaking head down, you know what your commitment is to that other person, male or female. You go out and find another person, it's not always known whether that other person know that you're involved, because men lie, women lie. Yep. Human beings freaking lie. And that's just the bottom line of it. But a woman who does specifically go out to choose married men. She knows the weakness of men, and she's doing this for some sort of, she's getting some benefits from it. And that's just all it is to it. And that's a certain and those are those type of women that are out there. Those type of women are out there, but that doesn't absolve that man because there are predators, of women. If you can continue to keep your penis in your pants, it wouldn't matter if that predator lady was out there or not, because one thing you never hear of, and if it is give me an article of women, seducing men, and they're just like oblivious, and just like, oh my God, I didn't know what happened. I woke up and, she was on top of me. You don't hear those stories. Those stories don't happen. These men be like, it looked good. The opportunity was there. And in that 30 seconds that I made that decision, I wasn't thinking anybody would find out, but of course, my wife is standing there. I'm not going to do it. But my wife is at home. She thinks that I'm at the conference in Chicago and this opportunity is here. I'm going to get this.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, the only time I would be mad, right? So if my man cheats on me, right? The only way I would be mad at the woman is if she's a friend or family member of mine. So she does have an implicit promise or, something.
Because that's a relationship. That's a relationship that you have with that person. And that shows that that person would sleep with your man. She doesn't love you, or she violated that trust in that relationship you have with her, which makes it a double blow for the person who was cheated on.
Exactly. Right. So I think that like, and I mean, it's different. You're right. You're absolutely right. There are some women who actually are so twisted. I find this to be really dysfunctional. Like, I think those women need to seek help when they walk into their house and they find their man in bed with some woman they don't know. They don't go after the man. They go and beat the shit out of the woman. I'm like, why?
That's the wrong target.
Right. That woman didn't do nothing to you.
If it's in my house, I'm coming home in my house. All asses are getting beat. I don't give a damn. All asses are getting beat. And you know what? If you an innocent victim, you was at the wrong place at the wrong time.
No.
But he already know he's in violation of bringing a skank in the house. And, hey, you know what, skank? Be mindful of your environment and where you're being taken. Okay?
Oh, lady.
You
Turner
had a kid. So come on. I don't give a damn. All asses are getting everybody getting licked up in there. Get out of my house. I'm being robbed. I don't know what's going on in my bedroom. I'm being robbed. There are some strangers up in here. What is this here going on? These are people I don't reckon. Who is this?
I'm being robbed.
This woman. I'm just going to react, and I have every right to. Don't go to a strange house and get a knot upside your head and wonder why. Oh my God, I didn't know.
Yeah, I just look at it as like a crime situation. You know what I'm saying? It's like the woman would be accomplice, and the guy would be the bank robber. You know what I'm saying? When the cops pull you over, they taking both of y'all to jail. Whether you was I just drove the car.
Driving a car, and whether you held the gun, I don't care. I said, everybody get licked up in here.
Yeah, y'all both.
What is this?
Both of y'all guilty.
I didn't know what. Who? What? I'm being robbed?
No, but both of y'all aren't guilty necessarily because it has to do with hold on. Because it has to do with the mens rea, right? The guilty mind, right? So if you just tell me, hey, you call me, yo, Ruby, I'm gonna be at the Shell gas station. That's where I'm getting dropped off at 11:05. Can you pick me up? Okay, yeah, sure, I'll pick you up. Yeah, pick me up by the payphone there. And so I pull up to the payphone at 11:05, and you get in my car, and you're like, all right, yeah, thanks so much for picking me up. And as we're driving, right, then you pull out the bag of money or something, or I don't even know you even have the money. One way or the other, I didn't know you went to rob that gas station at 11 o'clock. No one told me. No one asked me.
You still going to jail. They're going to be like, they have your picture. They got your license plate. You going to jail? And
I'm telling you. Listen.
No.
If it's you and me, I'm gonna tell on you.
No,
Be careful of the company you keep. Be careful of the company.
We got you on the phone. We got you on the phone talking about you gonna pick him up so y'all can go. You can drive him to rob the bank. No, we got you on the phone saying you was actually gonna help him do the crime. You going to jail.
Right. Those are two different crimes. See, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So it's different. Like, or if I talk to this woman, right? Like, because I do feel some compassion, because sometimes people don't know, right? Because people lie. So you don't know. But now if the spouse comes and approaches you and says, yo, listen, that's my wife or that's my husband. You know what I mean? Please stop. Like, you're breaking up a happy home. And then you keep sleeping with them and keep letting them spend money on you and whatever. Then I think you have fair argument.
But guess what? Sometimes you will encounter some discomfort based on a bad decision that you made. Unbeknownst to you, you be like, "Oh my God,
I don't care."
I'm just saying that is the chance that you take. You be like, "Oh my God, I walked into the wrong room, and this is what happened to me." So yeah, you walked into the wrong. Because had you known this man for any given period of time, you're going to see me walking in and out. But if you're going to a strange man's home and you have no idea and you've known him only 6 days and you're going to lay up with him, that's your business. But sometimes that's a bad decision. And
sometimes people date married people for 6-7 months before even ever sleeping with them. Right? And it's not until like a year and a half in, then they get a phone call from an angry wife. They had no idea because your buddy had an extra apartment. Buddy had an extra bachelor pad.
Decisions will yield some negative.
You can't blame someone for that. You can't blame that girl for that.
That's a negative consequence.
Hey, listen, I'm gonna say this before I get Vonda to bring it out the strap, right?
Right.
It's like, listen, it's a different case, right? Like, you have to be mindful of certain things when you become an adult. How many times have we walked outside, didn't pay attention to the weather report, and we got rained on?
Thank you, Dre. It was raining in my house, and I had to smack you with some hail. The HAIL hail.
And they say possession is 9/10 of the law. Like, you know what I'm saying? But here's the thing. And on my section is this.
Okay.
No, and this is you're talking about because I've only been married once and I'm still married. No, and prior to that, my belief is this is just my belief. You can't cheat on somebody if you ain't married. This goes for both ways. You can't be an adulterer if you're not married because you're not cheating. You're free to do whatever you want. You know what I'm saying? Now, did you lie to the person and said that they was exclusive? Yes, you did. I'm exclusively dating you. Until you get married, you're not married. You can't be almost married, about to be married. Just even if you have a child with the person, you're still not married. You know what I'm saying? The only legal thing that person can get to a certain degree, depending on what state you're in, is if y'all have a child together, it's child support. That's about it. That's it. Like, you can't get no alimony. You ain't splitting shit half. None of that. And it's about how much, and then if the child support is about how much the dude makes. When you're married, that's a whole different commitment because then y'all sitting up here and it's death do you part. And the marriage is only successful until someone's still living while someone's dead. There's only time the marriage is successful because you finished the contract. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so in my case, nah. Like, if it was anything, it was the other way around. It was the girl, she decided to date another dude or be with another guy while I was there. And then when I got tired of that, I became a professional side dude. Yeah, I was just a professional side dude. Yeah, because I'm like, look. And they was like, but they were paying me. See, I was getting paid. See, I wasn't just out there just breaking up happy homes. No, I was doing a public service. I was keeping them together. That was for real. Because listen, if you're messing with me and you break up, then I didn't do my job as a professional side dude. If y'all break up, because I'm not about your craft, wasn't you? Yeah, I was serious. I was getting paid. I was public service. I was great at my job.
Public service.
You know, small.
Male gigolo.
No, flights and all. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, L. Nixon, you know what I'm saying? He was in the Navy. I'm like,
Oh, you was Jody.
yeah, Jody, yeah. I was in Norfolk, running all through the 7 cities. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Holding that, and I would properly listen. And I was respectful. See, I was respectful side of it, right? I was respectful side of it. I would tell them, I'm not smashing in your home. I don't want to meet your kids. I'm not smashing in your bed. And you're going to cover all expenses from the hotel room on. And we're going to move. We're going to rotate. If you're in Norfolk, we're going to go over here. You're not going to drive me around in this man's vehicle that he's paying for.
Yeah, I've seen it.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Now, if I'm going to pick you up, you have your homegirl drop you off to an undisclosed location. You get in my car and we drive the hell off, right? And I'm not coming to see you on Sundays and Mondays because God even rested on Sunday. And I am not God. So I need 2 days of rest and recuperation. So, and you're Tuesday. You're not bleeding over into Wednesday. What is my job? Am I here to break back? I'm here to break back. Am I here to listen to your problems? I'm here to listen to your problems. That's going to cost you an extra $250. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Because these Timberlands need to be brought.
Stay away from the military. Stay away from the military towns. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because that's just savagery all the way around, right? And then you start feeling bad. I was like, man,
you start feeling bad.
I started to get a conscience, and you know what made me not get a conscience?
What?
We were like, no, he said I can do it. We good. I was like, no, hold on, wait a minute, what? No, he said I can do it. We good. He's like, yeah, you're doing a great job. And then, you know, she passed me on to one of her friends because her man was going for 6 months and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to recommend you. You know what I'm saying? I was like, what the hell? And I'm thinking, this is crazy, right? But I'm a young dude. I'm getting paid. I ain't got to look at my paycheck. I'm eating good. I'm looking good. I go on deployment. And the second that we pull into a port after 2 weeks of being underway, right? I got the damn chaplain, which is the preacher. He got his face in a stripper's ass. I was like, whoa.
Oh no.
Whoa. Dudes running around. I'm talking about the married dudes is losing their mind. They got hoes falling from the rafters. You know how this raining men is raining prostitutes, raining strippers, right?
Okay.
They going in. I'm like, what the hell's going on? And you know, I'm like, what that? And you know, they look at me. What happens on deployment stays on deployment. Right?
No, because that line at medical be long as hell. And if you keep getting caught going to medical, some of them captains will call your wife.
Will call your wife. Yeah, they will.
Really?
No, scandalous. I'm sorry.
If you get caught committing adultery and you got to go to captain mass, I've heard more than a few, but there's captains, they will call make you call your wife. One guy, he was a chief. He was an E7, and he put in his package for a warrant officer, and he got selected. We told him to stay away from this married E5 because they both was married, and his dumb ass didn't. He got caught and went to mass. He said, "You know what? I'm gonna give you a choice. You either call your wife, or we pull your warrant officer package." He stayed at E7.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because
what did that conversation sound like?
No, he didn't. No, he didn't call his wife. He'd rather take the L on the money right there than take the L for the money for the rest of his life, because that's child support and that's half his retirement. That's alimony and everything. She getting half of everything. When I mean everything.
Yeah, so he definitely didn't call his wife. He said,
"No, he didn't." Yeah, but that's how it was. So it's like, okay, it was on both sides, but then there was this other thing where they pull in and it'd be like this, like nothing happened, like a switch went off, and then you have to think about the world. In a certain point, is like, wait a minute, this dude is gone for 6 months. We pull it into here, and here, and I done seen dudes be faithful to their woman. And then it then went the other way. They get the Dear John letters. They get this. They get that. And the woman being faithful to their dudes, and he running around sideways and whatever. And then in that one rare moment of the 5%, where, and I say because there's no deafness in the universe, where they're faithful to each other and everything's working great. Those are the dudes that don't want to be at work. I can tell the dudes that they wife is running around and doing whatever because they at work and they trying to keep you at work because they at work.
It's
right?
bad. It's really bad.
You know what I'm saying? But I can tell the dudes is running around on their wife because they ain't going home because their wife coming up to the ship asking why they working so hard and we laughing.
Y'all talking about a whole Lifetime movie. I mean, dysfunction in the military.
Oh,
it's so damn. When I say it's so damn crazy, he's right. Listen, the only thing that kept me, well, I won't say the only thing because I was married, but you get a port brief every time you go to those ports. And I'm like, man, y'all got to be crazy to go out here and mess around. I used to be the guy, get off the ship. At the end of the brow, I used to scoop condoms in my bag because I know these dumbass people out there. And I would be like, did you take some condoms? No. Here goes some condoms. Because I knew what they was going to do. I'm passing out condoms to people. And then 2 weeks later, 2 or 3 weeks later, we pull out from Thailand. And I'm like, okay, damn, I didn't know they had the flu shot line. Wait a minute. This
Wait
ain't
a minute.
Everybody
and I see women in that line too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So,
the female.
Yeah,
don't.
So no, I'm not. I wasn't going out there. And then the third thing, I had my junior sailors looking at me. So my thing is, the Navy is kind of small, so I didn't want to go through my naval career with me telling my sailors something, and they see me come out of a whorehouse. So I didn't. That was another thing. So yeah,
you didn't want to be a hypocrite. Pretty much.
It's both ways. It's like you know what I mean, but it's different lifestyles. Like when I came over to Japan, I wasn't doing that because you walk down the street, like you walk out the front gate, and it's like 30 chicks trying to run up at you. So you didn't have to involve yourself into that, into that. It was still happening. Oh, it was happening. It was popping. It doesn't change. But
the wives have dudes moving in some of these military people's house while they go. I'm telling you, both ends. So when you talk about cheating and all that, like I met this Navy wife, young black lady, and her husband was an officer, and she was asking me about deployment. I had been on like one before, and I was married, and I found out I couldn't hang with the married dudes. So I always found a bunch of weird, like cool people that was weird that I knew I wasn't gonna get in trouble with. But she was like, I'm concerned. I heard this and her. And listen, it really broke my heart because I felt for it because I know what some of these guys are doing, and I just felt bad for it. They was newly married, and I was like, damn, like this is what people have to go through. Like it's 6 months. You know what I'm saying? Like you keep your pay and all that stuff. Why risk it? Like, if you got to use some lotion, do what you got to do. Just wait till you get home. Just that simple.
It's a bunch of 17, 18-year-olds. They're not even done puberty. Their brains are not fully formed. They are still basically high school boys that you're putting in very precarious situations as far as their lives with this testosterone on 11 and then saying, but control yourself.
If you're single, but if you're married, here's the thing. You got to be about, listen, you know what to stop? Well, okay, a person like me, I don't care if I was 19 at the time. What will stop me as a married person is my money. I'm not risking my money for no woman.
My ring. That's a deterrent. That's decent. I'm gonna say this: the people that get caught the most doing the most dumb stuff in the military is the 28 Nova crowd.
Really?
Wow.
Yes.
I would think those would be the people that wouldn't.
No,
right?
Exactly.
Well, let's likely, I'll say.
No, because it's like this, right? It's like okay, it's like when you get to a certain rank in the military, there's a separation, right? And usually when you get to E6 and above, which is let's just say management, right? So let's say assistant manager would be like a E5, maybe E6, right? And then you're like the store manager, right? And then the E7 would probably be like he would be like a multi-store manager, right? Like he got multi-stores or whatever, right? And then you're talking about above that, you're talking about department head, which would be what we're talking about between the 28 and about 35, 36 range. Because if you come in the military and do 20 years at 18, you're 38. Right? So if you're talking, so usually through those age ranges, will get that ranking, so you'll get that. So they already know the system. They already got the political thing to lean on the system. Plus, people rotate every 2 to 3 years. They don't stay there for their whole career. They move to a different place. They move around. So you might be on this ship, and you might have went to Spain, or you might have went over here to the East Coast to the West Coast. And every time you go to a different place, you can actually be on a ship and walk across what we call a pier across the street to a different ship, and it's a whole different neighborhood. It's like you went to a new job. You know, so then you can be a whole new person.
Right.
Yeah, you can be a whole new person, and then you got to hang with a whole different people, and then it's a whole thing. And then your wife, if you're married, she's got to play this political game with the wives because they got their little snooty thing. You know what I'm saying, that they got going on. You know, El Nigga talk about that a little bit. So it's all about this prestige. But when the ships are gone, it's like everybody's on vacation. It's real. It's a mask that comes off. Oh, listen, we used to catch. I remember they left me behind, and I caught my captain, which is like in charge of the whole command where I was working at. His wife was super hoe. She was out there hard body, hard body, like embarrassing. She'd be out there getting drunk. She'd be out there just like he finally got a divorce. He finally got a divorce because she got caught getting smashed down in the alley behind one of the bars by some black dudes.
That is just terrible.
He couldn't take it no more.
He couldn't live it down.
If that was Bonda, man, he would have had something happened to him.
Yeah. And the only reason nothing happened to the black dudes is because they were civilians. They didn't know she was married. They didn't know because she was in the bar every night. She doesn't act like a high ranking or someone, a power woman. Why are you down here slumming it with us? Because you know what? His wife was from the trailer park.
I was gonna say she's not though, right? It's different for the men in the military. Like it doesn't matter if you're a military wife or a military husband. You don't go through anything. You don't grow and develop and whatever as you're facing, you know, life, death-defying things and and going through all this training or whatever. You're just the same person you always were, only you're just being isolated and alone for months at a time as your spouse is gone. Nothing changes for you. So if you were some ancient no-count person from the trailer park, you're still that person in a year, right? Your spouse might have gone through crazy growing things. Coming out the other side, just a completely changed person. But you, in essence, are the same person. Like you're, especially if you're like living on the base, you moved away from everything and everyone you know. You've just been on pause for a year, right? Like they're not growing or changing or becoming something greater or something more polished, or you know. So they're the same person. Like the military is a different world.
Well, actually, in the Navy, we got to do a post-deployment brief. Because when two people are separated and they got to live two different experiences, and you kind of develop your own schedule, moving back into the home, you do a post-deployment brief because you don't just turn over the duties and stuff like that. You have to slowly integrate back into the house again. Yeah. So that's always a big issue because you both on two different things. You know what I'm saying? Like you're working 7 days a week unless you pull in 12 hours a day, and you got to deal with a whole lot of BS. And then when you go home, your wife she's self-sufficient. So you come in and be like, hey, what about this? You can be like, wait a minute. No, hold on. I got this. And then you feel like an outsider. And then, you feel mad and y'all are. So you got to do a post-deployment brief.
Yeah.
All right, so let me interrupt you guys right now. We have a donation, and when we have one of those, we have to make Sheed sing. So she hit it.
Epic. Epic.
I love that.
The only thing that could beat that is a video of Sheed singing while he sings that, right? Like you see, I can see him with I can see him like a hat backwards and stuff going hoo hoo and bent at the knees and everything, head up in the sky.
Now that would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
You know what,
Epicness.
Shar? You know what, Shar? I got an idea, right? So you have Sheed singing, and then you got like Terrence Howard mouthing the
Ooh,
lyrics. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, they sound the same.
No.
Not him. No, not him. No, that's sacrilegious. You know what? I wanted to say something. Going back to something that you said earlier, though, Dre, and it's something you say a lot. You know, so I guess my brain has been mulling over it in my subconscious. But that whole thing you say, there is no cheating, and like except for when you're married. And I'm gonna tell you why I disagree with that. Not only because I just disagree with that, obviously I do, but it's because of this, right? It's like when people say, I didn't sign no contract. Yeah, but if you wrote it down anywhere that you actually had agreed to these terms, right? A handshake agreement, even, right? Those are still agreements. The point is whether or not you think you should have to commit to monogamy or not, whether or not you stood up in a church or not. If you made an agreement, a verbal agreement with someone else that you were going to follow a certain set of rules within a relationship with them, whatever kind of relationship it is, then yeah, it's a violation for you not to follow those terms. So if you told someone, okay, let's be monogamous, I won't sleep with anyone else and you don't sleep with anyone else, and then you violate those terms, that is literally by definition, you are cheating on the agreement that you made with this person. You don't have to make that agreement. You don't even have to make that agreement in marriage. You don't, because you can say, listen, I don't want to agree to those terms. I don't want a monogamous marriage, right? Yeah. You can set, especially as a man, you can actually set your rules and say, this is what I'm about. This is what I'm willing to commit to. So if you commit to monogamy, I don't care if you've only been together for 2 months. If you commit to monogamy and then you break that commitment while that person, the other person is not breaking that commitment because they're following the rules you guys made up together, then you're cheating. Right? Because you're violating the arrangement.
I do like that you said 2 months and not 6 months. I do like that. The 6 months that ain't happening.
You know what, Dre? You know what, Dre?
He's talking about the transition period. That's what he's talking about. I was trying to
you were just, you exaggerate and 6 months is not a millennium, you know. And people that work every day, 8 hours a day, you don't have time to date and get to know someone, you know, in a 7-day period. You have to work 5 days, the average person.
Of course.
So 6 months to 6 to 12 months is a very decent amount of time. You know, I just don't think that, you know, people should just be just going out there and just laying up with people they don't know. I don't know what your last name is, what's your middle name, what's your mother's name, but I'm gonna lay up and you know, give my body to you. So over a course of a period of time and getting comfortable with somebody, 6 to 12 months is a very reasonable amount of time for to, you know, like, you know, at least get comfortable with someone. So I'm gonna need you to
have several seats.
Yes. I'm like, listen, listen,
sit down.
Good. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Alex.
No, she said have several seats. So I said sit down, Dre.
Yeah, I try to hold on down. That's all.
It's fine.
The thing about with me is I never really was good at like multitasking. So I never was good at cheating. You know what I'm saying? Because me, you know, my little sucker ass, like I always like people. So it's like, man, if I mess around and cheat, it's gonna be with somebody that I like, and then I'm gonna be caught up. So cheating never worked out.
What
for
a coincidence, L. Nixon. A lot of men are not good at cheating. A lot of them are not.
It's true.
No. I'm saying because here's the thing when it comes to that is even with me personally, like I have to have like a connection with somebody. You know what I mean? Like even if you look good, I have to have a connection with you. Like, so
Mhm.
just having sex with somebody because she look good, I like to have some type of connection because I have to like trust somebody's energy. Like, I got to be familiar with you, so I can't just randomly cheat. It doesn't. I just don't. It
Not
just don't.
satisfying. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not satisfying at all.
I can understand that completely.
Yeah, that's why it was great for me being a professional side dude. You know what I'm saying? It was great because I wasn't cheating. See, like I can't cheat on you in a relationship. Like, what are you talking about? I'm single. You're
It
the
was his
one.
job. It was his job.
I'm single. You're the whore. I love that.
Exactly.
Word
Like,
of
I'm
the night.
walking around minding my business. I'm just getting recommendations for the good job I was doing. Hello, how you doing? And then I
Hey,
move the hell on. You know what I'm
hey,
saying?
Dre.
And,
Dre, let me ask you a question.
Mhm.
Was you Deuce Bigelow or was you the ladies' man? Remember that movie?
No, I was the dude. I was just the dude. I was like, yo, what's up? It's me. Like, it wasn't on a thing. If I was called over, it wasn't a, hey, let me hang out and chill with you. Because I had women that were friends that wasn't trying to be in a relationship that I can go chill with. If I'm coming over there, I'm there for a specific purpose. You're like, okay, why am I here? You need someone to talk to and vent. Okay, cool. You got like the clock is running now. Because I got a 12 o'clock appointment. Like I got appointments. I got shit to do. Gas costs money. You gotta do. Listen, you're gonna say to me everything that you can't say to him because he's on the ship and you need to keep his shit together so you can keep these lights, water, and gas on so you can live this nice life. Right? And then he's going to be back. I'm just to hold your brain together. Actually, a couple of dudes actually thank me. Hey, man, thanks for being there for my wife while I was out there and gone.
Dre.
Hey, man, listen,
No.
listen. Let me tell you something. When well, I ain't gonna mention it, but my ex, one of them,
Mhm.
she had a friend. Her husband was messing around, and then she ended up messing around. So we go over there for a cookout, right? And I worked at this part-time government job. And mind you, she got 3 kids, 2 girls and 1 boy.
Mm.
The dude that she was messing with worked at my part-time job. He's at the house. And I'm thinking, okay, the neighbor, wait, what? The neighbors are here? And I know they know the husband and the side dude is here. And I'm sitting there like, and the side dude is cooking food on the man's grill in the kid. And I told the person I was with at the time,
Mhm.
I said,
He cooking
I'm going down.
food.
Yeah, I said, I'm going down the
A
street
lot
to
of pain.
Mike's house. I'll see you when you get done. I'm going to Mike's house. I ain't want nothing to do with that house because I knew sailors who said, hey, I'm coming back at such and such a time. And they came back early to surprise you. And things happen. I don't want to be nowhere near no dysfunction like that. I left.
Like, you
Yeah.
see, it's not dysfunction. It's like, but see, that was the crazy part. Like that was the mind-blowing misunderstanding thing, right? Where I was shocked, right? Because I didn't know nothing about this. I was taught this by these people. Right? When I mean these people, right? And then I was like, yo, people get down like this. It's some weird shit. But then when you think about it, because everybody can't do what I was doing because I was in that particular place at that time where I didn't want to be doing this. Like, you know what I mean? I didn't want to be in a relationship with women because I got hurt. But I still like women. But I wasn't gonna cry about it. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, shit. I'm like, this is cool because now I get to see the mindset of this. Because my relationship was like teenage, high school shit that that did not transpire and translate into adulthood. This is adults, and I'm just trying to see like, okay, this is crazy. She just gave me $200 just to smash out and leave. Wow, this is weird. Like, what's going on with this? And okay, you want me to hear your problem, so I gotta ask dudes that I mean that's in that circle, like, yo, what's going on? Nah, man, you gotta set boundaries. You gotta put on a schedule. You gotta tell her you're only coming on Mondays and Thursdays or Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and she needs to stay in code what you're doing because they still want to feel like that, you know what I mean? They're not going and buying a pair of shoes. Women like to shop. They like to compare. They like the blue pumps next to the small heels, next to the big. Like, this is what this is. You are not a replacement for her husband. You are a stand-in until he gets back. He said, like we look at porn. Like we look at porn, that's what you're a walking emotional punching bag. That's what you are. That's what you is. That's what you is because she's frustrated with this. Your job is to keep them together. Your job is not to fuck it up. And I was like, huh? And then that's when they started telling about history, about all kinds of stuff, like how, you know, like Greeks and and you know, it gets deep into the mindset, but I didn't understand it until I went on my first deployment. And then I understood it. When I start seeing dudes cracking, like literally cracking. Like,
and let me ask you this: was it all races of people?
Yes.
Exactly. Thank
Of
you.
course.
Yes. Oh, and I'm gonna say this: them Filipinos, woo, woo,
True.
woo.
No, that's true.
Well, here's the crazy part.
Yeah.
Even here.
I'm gonna say this, right? And you know, people be saying all this stuff. The if I would say in a percentage of the women I was dealing with at the time, the smallest percentage of the women I was dealing at the time were the black women because they weren't really with that. You know what I'm saying? The black dynamic wasn't really like that. Now with the Latino, with the Asians and the white women, oh, it was fair game. It was free game. They was in it. Matter of fact, the white women was the worst. They was the worst. The Filipino chicks wasn't about, like, the Asian women wasn't about the intimacy part of it to the degree of complaining about the dude. They didn't even want to talk about the dude. They wanted you to take them out on a date, but they paying for it. Well, he paying for it. But you know, that's neither here nor there. They wanted a break from life because they're marrying for status and they're marrying for substance. They're not marrying for emotional stuff, maybe. Right? That's their culture. Then you know, the Latino chicks, they just want you to come through and smash down, but they going home. They ain't staying overnight. It ain't gonna be none of that. You got a window to smash, and if you don't meet that window, regardless if they called you over or not, then you don't call them. They'll hit you with the poppy. I miss you. Okay, what time you want me to come through? Okay, here, meet me over here. And they got you moving around like you're a kilo of coke. Like you don't know where they live. You don't meet you. And then here's the crazy part. They and people don't understand this. They don't want you in their community when this happens. So they got like a girlfriend that they're cool with, that they'll meet you over their house where they know no one else is around, where you show up, you smash, and they out the door.
And you know, for the record, I want to say really quick, this is how the streets currently have this narrative totally messed up. Because they're preaching this narrative a lot, you know. Oh, forget love. Love has nothing to do with marriage, right? So a woman is supposed to be monogamous and faithful and not care about marriage, just care about duty and da 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 da. But they're missing this whole giant piece of the puzzle, which is that actual monogamy and that whole fidelity thing doesn't exist in these places where marriage is all about duty. It doesn't. On either side, right? People get married for the duty and the hierarchy and whatever of it all, but then they go and they smash on the outside. They have whole ass boyfriends and girlfriends that they actually are in love with and whatever, and they're connecting with emotionally. And in their marriage, they have sex those few times to have children, right, with this person because for legacy purposes. But the concept of, oh, well, no, your husband doesn't have to do anything to fulfill you mentally or emotionally or honestly even sexually. You're just there to fulfill his sexual needs and otherwise to shut up, make him a sandwich and this and that and da 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 da. And you just sit there and he owns you until you die. No, that's never been the actual contract, because the contract where all of those other factors are true this is exactly how women will be in their marriages until death. But they have always had sex and boyfriends outside of their marriage. They just always have, because they have to get that fulfillment elsewhere. It's just what it is.
Yeah, that's sad.
If you're in, like, you know, and it's culture, right? Because I didn't understand it until I came to Asia with the Asians. I understood it with the Latinos because they're family orientated, right? And the reason why I really understood that is because going to Spain, going to whatever, you can, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can meet an Italian girl or a Spanish girl and then have, like, going like to Spain or you going to Italy, you can take them back to the room, smash them down. But guess what? At 5 o'clock, they ain't staying all the way and whatever. When the club closed, if you smash and they leaving with you at 2, the club's still open. Guess what? If you was dicking around and you was messing with at 4:30, guess where she's at? Out the door, whether you got yours off or not. She in the cab at 5 because she needs to be home because she still live with her parents. Like, that's how they are. Like, it's just, okay, that's their culture. So what is the other culture? The other culture is, you know, with the American side of the culture, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. But with black people, if they're cheating on each other and within that relationship to a certain degree, somebody fucked up somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a whole different dynamic. You know, even with on the white side of things, yeah, but somebody accepts it. Like, somebody in a relationship, it's like, this person is not cheating, it's just who they is. Like, I can't fulfill, I want, like, it's, if I'm always, you know, just as my opinion by watching those relationships, it's, if I watch black people do it, right, it's this person did something to this person and they getting back at them, or this person is totally done with the relationship. They're just done with it, right? Or you're not around and I need my needs fed because you're not here. Because the other thing about military marriages is, well, especially with the Navy and Marines or whatever, is you're always in that period of honeymoon phase. You're always in honeymoon phase.
Because you don't get to see each other.
Yeah, and then when you're about to have, everybody knows what makes your relationship last is when you have that one big argument after the honeymoon phase. That one argument, and it'll be over something as stupid as moving the remote. And it's the challenging of power, but it's, can we compromise and come to a reconciliation, because we got the in love goggles off now. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you putting your socks in the middle of the floor is really annoying me now. Like, right. You're doing X, Y, and Z, or you keep moving something, and I asking, have you seen it, and you forget because you're rearranging crap, and I put my stuff down in a specific place and I can't find it, right? Like, it's little things like that blow up that you let slide, but it gets to the point and the problem of you never get to that point. And the longer you go through that in the military, the worse it compounds itself, where there has to be a compromise. And the compromise for us to stay together, and we got kids, and not to break up the family, is you have your little side thing, I got my little side thing. But here's the problem. We can't let the side things overlap. You know, like,
and how does that work, Trey? How does that work?
Well, the way it works is that you go for 6 months, you come back 4 months, I get to do what I need to do. 2 months, you need to clear everything out. That means dude need to be gone, cut the hell off, move on. He didn't see the kids. I didn't bring nothing back. Like, you know, I didn't bring no friends back. There's no children popping up. You know what I'm saying? Like, out of nowhere, like, that's popping up on the door. Is you my daddy? You know what I'm saying? And there's none of that happening, and then no one else knows what's going on. Like,
and if I can add from the other side really quick, from the female professional side chick side, because as I told you, I don't know, I got to know a lot of people in this side of the world, probably because I was so fascinated by them, because it could never be me, right? But no, at the end of the day, actually, the whole idea where like husbands thank you, wives will never outrightly thank a professional side chick for keeping their husband satisfied while they're sick or otherwise not available. But them not trying to like beat the shit out of you when they see you in the street is kind of like the thanks. And the reason why they have that thanks though is because if you know your man, okay, some men they can hold it. They can hold it a year, 2 years, however long they need to hold it. They can hold it. Some men can't. They just are. They're just not. I don't know if you want to say emotionally mature enough or whatever it is, but they can't. And so if they need it, they're gonna go get it. Now the problem is, right? It's because there's so much free sex out here. But women, like if you go find an unattached woman, right? And that's who he goes and finds, she's in essence going to be an energy vampire, right? She is going to be looking for his attention, to love her, to give her gifts, to treat her this and that, and blah, 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 blah. That means he's going to have to take a bunch of that emotional investment he has in you and give it to her. Right. Yep. Whereas when you have the professional side chick, that isn't in the equation. Right. You are paying her a fee for a service. Right. And on top of that, you are letting her know when she needs to be available. So it works a little differently with women versus men, whereas because in the household, the rules are a little bit different. Women have to be home when the husband gets home. Right. Husbands can kind of more so set their own rules. So they set the rules around when I can get away from the house. So I need you to be available between 9 and 11 on Wednesdays and Sundays. And that's your new job. That's what you're doing. That's when you're going to be available. But now he doesn't have to emotionally invest in you. He doesn't have to be thoughtful. He doesn't have to listen to you. So all of those things are reserved solely for his wife. He's just getting this itch scratch that his wife can't currently scratch. Either maybe she's sick, maybe she's traveling, maybe he's traveling, whatever it is, right? And so likewise, when the wife is now, she's healthy again, or she's coming back or whatever, then he says, all right, I'm not going to need your services anymore. And she goes, all right, thanks. Good luck with your wife.
That's what doesn't happen, Ruby, because men are greedy. They're effing greedy. So they can still get the side chick, and then their wife is like, hey, she got the good stuff too. They're going to get that as well. So
because you know what, the men who are paying for a professional side, like really paying for that service only, right? It's basically like it's like your own personal prostitute in a way, right? But she's just not on the corner and whatever, right? She's available, and so you're paying a premium for her to be available when you need her to be available, right? And you're paying a premium for you not to have to do any of the other crap and any of the investment stuff. The guys who do this are actually very much in love with their wives, and they actually would prefer to have sex with their wives. Right? If their wives were available right now, sex with their wife was available, they would choose that because the fulfillment of having sex with this person they're madly in love with is a lot more than the fulfillment that they get from just banging some hot chick. Right?
And that's what I say. Don't lie. If you get into a relationship and you don't like cooking, don't front like you don't like cooking, and then don't front like you're a freak when you're not. Because if you want all the monogamy and you don't want your man going nowhere, then you need to be the biggest freak at home. If he's paying all your bills, he shouldn't have to pay nobody else. You should be his freak.
Well, no, and I agree with that 100%. But here's the thing. I agree with that.
Warning.
Bonnie. What?
Yeah,
my thing is this. Like, go ahead.
I feel that if you're getting into a relationship or if you're going to be together, if that's what you require your woman to be a freak, every day, all day, on demand.
I ain't say every day, all day. I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, on demand, whatever the case is, it has to be agreed upon. It has to be agreed upon.
Yeah, but normally if he needs, see, that's the thing though, when you get into relationships, right? People, if you're functional people, you say, hey, listen, these are the things I need from a mate. Can you fulfill that? And you either say yes or no. Now, if you're in love with this person, you're gonna say yes, right? Normally people say yes and then they try to live up to that. The problem is when you say yes to something is actually incompatible with you, but you think that they're going to change down the line, or other things are going to, become more important at some point to the life. So therefore this won't be as important. So if you just hang in there at the beginning till you get the ring, till you get the wedding, whatever, then it'll be all right. right? But you shouldn't do that, right? Because if I say as a woman, I need you to notice when I'm upset every time I'm upset, ask me what's wrong. When I say nothing, never take nothing as nothing, and sit there and say, I really want to work this out with you, baby, because you're so important to me, and go through that bullshit every fucking time. I need that, right? And if I say that and you say yes, you know what? I can agree to that. That's something I'm capable of doing. And then you just stop doing it 5 years down the road. Like, what? You've been with me for long enough. You should be able to just tell me up front. I'm gonna say, I don't care what you think I should be able to do. I told you this is what I need. You have to fulfill that because that's what you agreed to fulfill. Likewise, if
Have you
you say you love having sex twice a day, 7 days a week, and you like all kinds of freaky deaky stuff, and I go, yeah, me too, baby. Yeah, I'm down with doing that. Yeah, let's do that. And then you get married, and then you're like, nah, man, once a month is more than enough for me. Like,
Yeah, like
you
have
got
you ever
ripped
seen that
off.
movie?
Like,
Have you ever seen that movie? I Think I Love My Wife. Now the thing is, this man getting sex on birthdays and special occasions, and in those situations, I tell women like this: all the energy you put into finding out where he's at and calling people and getting on the internet and doing all that, you could have gave a little bit of that energy and at least gave him some side leg and he would have been okay. It takes a little bit of energy. You got the energy to do that. Just get a man some sex every once in a while. And if you got 3 kids, by the first kid, she didn't have enough energy for you. You don't have a second, don't have a third. And you got to figure some stuff out because if y'all don't have no energy for each other, putting kids in extra responsibility means that one of y'all's affection or attention is going to slowly disappear. You don't want to keep adding on to stuff. That's when you cause problems in your relationship.
right. But maybe you lost it. So maybe like, so for example, in my case, right, I have a bunch of health issues that didn't exist but now do, right? They can be a serious barrier to my sex life, not because I've lost sexual interest or desire, but because of, my health is literally preventing. Now, and this is why I say to people all the time, well, if I was like terminal or something, I would 1,000% give my husband the green light. Go ahead. If I knew that it's going to be years for real, there's no way I would give him a green light. Like, but I would want him to go with one of these chicks. One of these chicks, she's clean. You know what I mean? She's professional. She's not trying to get my man to fall in love with her and buy her stuff and whatever. Here's our service fee. We work that into the budget, and you're gonna get that itch scratched, and you're gonna reserve all of your love and affection for me. I would be down with that, right? Because I understand. I can see the stress and the pressure that it puts on him, and I see the love and devotion, and I'm like, well, I think it's a little bit unfair because we entered into this agreement. I'm not intentionally taking it away, but at the same time, hey, especially if it was going to be a long-standing or permanent thing, like, hell yeah, go get that itch scratch, baby, because there's nothing wrong with you. Your health isn't suffering. But sometimes things happen in a relationship, and the reason why the sex fell off is not because the sexual desire just fell off, like, or she got sick or something, but it's because the relationship's broken. Right. And this is why I think communication is so important, because sometimes all you need to do is fix all of those unsaid resentments, all of those unsaid issues. You need to actually resolve them. And all of a sudden, boom, it's like you're back in your honeymoon phase. Right. But a lot of times people just sit there and go, now she won't sleep with me. Now I tried to touch her last night. She rolled over. Now this and that. And they're so busy complaining about what they're not getting and just trying to get it from somewhere else and whatever, that they're not trying to see if there's an actual underlying issue that could be resolved to resolve the sex problem or the lack thereof problem.
Sometimes people use excuses, right? Well, I have to do this and I have to do that and I'm busy with all that. And sometimes the only way you can find out what it is, because I'm the type of person, I'm like, check, check, and check. So for that whole week or 2 weeks, all the stuff that you said you have issues with getting done and it's too much, I'm doing all that stuff. So at the end of those 2 weeks, I'm like, okay, all that stuff is done. So what's going on now? And sometimes you'll find out with people, it wasn't really that. It was something else, but they were using that as an excuse. You know what I'm saying? Like, so now let's really talk about what the problem is so we can fix it.
Right.
Yeah, and you know what I'm saying? And that's what I said. Like, I agree with Ruby and with what El Nixon is saying. But, I would like to push back on this with, what I'm saying, what Vaughn said, men are greedy, is humans are greedy, period, like to a certain degree, right? But you do find it that certain things when we look back that were archaic, right? That we like, no, we shouldn't do that. they did it for a reason, because human nature, no matter how much evolution happens and civilizations rise and fall, it stays in certain ways consistent, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you look back at it, you say, okay, the wife used to pick when she got to a certain age, or she wasn't, feeling, or however when they got married, or what the hypergamy or whatever, right? You call it, she would pick the woman to be there to handle that part of whatever that she's not handling no more, right? And there will be a dude there in the vicinity that the wife could be whatever on, because they know why they originally got married, and it wasn't their choice to a certain degree. It was society, it was the village choice, right? Now we don't have the village or whatever, because it's more humans concentrated in these cities and stuff, and population booms. Now we have society is now the village, right? And with you're constantly being pushed with this. Now we have a little bit more leeway. I gotta actually like you. There's no one getting a dowry for a woman to marry a woman no more, right? And there's no, and then if a woman wants to get divorced, right, or she's getting some type of abuse, she doesn't have a big family of men with a whole army to come in and kick butt to beat up the husband for abusing the woman, right? So there had to be some changes. But what actually happens is like y'all was saying before, is you got to know who you're with. You have to date a person long enough to understand. You have to have those conversations. Sometimes it's best to have those deep diving conversations, because if it's a no-go for you, it's a no-go. You know what I mean? And that's your choice. Like, it was like, no, I'm in strictly with monogamy. That's it. Right? And Bird's like, okay, cool. All right, I don't think we're gonna do this.
Right.
Like, everything else checks out, but no, because there's certain things that you're not going to do, and I have certain needs that I like that need to be met that I want to do. And this is what's happening. Or I can't expect me not being around for, like, I'm only really around like maybe 1 week out of the month on average, or 2 weeks out of the month on average, and I'm just expecting you to just keep your legs closed and be there and just there. Because and then I don't want, and then you don't want me, like, to say to come home, and then I'm just for them 2 weeks just in there, just beating down, just draw. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want that, because you want like you would want intimacy. You would want to take some time. You would want to work into it, and things change over time. So it has to be some give and go and some compromise at the end of the day. And that's what it used to be. So the compromise was the man just didn't pick a woman, show up to her at the house and say, yeah, this is my new bitch, so just move over. No, that's just not how it worked. The woman actually chose the woman. She actually chose. She actually said, hey, I know what's going to happen sooner or later. We done had 2 or 3 kids in. I know your taste. This is the contract, like you were saying. This is the side chick contract. Right.
And, those are different, lifestyles for, different people in different situations. And to a degree, of realism, I know I sit up here and I'm like, oh, I'm clutching my pearls, but to be honest, I can understand in those situations, because it takes a frame of mind. And when you are of a different frame of mind, you're like, oh my God, wow. But I'm old enough to understand that, not all people think the same. And, that's not my situation. But if it were my situation, what would I do? What would I do, and what agreement would me and, my husband have with regards to him being gone, 8 months out of the year? What the hell am I supposed to do?
I'm even say this, Vonda. Like, let's go back to let's just say 1970, before that, right? Gentlemen clubs, strip clubs. Shit, when I was growing up, you didn't go hang in the strip club as a single man. That was for married men and losers. Like, when I grew up, like, why are we going to the strip club to party? And why they got food in the strip club? This is not sanitary. Like, it was certain things that I did not understand, but things evolved. But those gentlemen clubs, those those things was set for married men. It's the same thing, and the women then knew that was happening, but it was like, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm messing these women, and then I'm gonna come home and whatever. We just gonna have the boys' night out, and they would have their girls' night out. Oh, the girls we having their girls' night out. It was just this unspoken rule that things like that happened, but people stayed married because people knew what it was. And here's the funny thing about it. There was a small percentage of people that actually that service was for a small percentage of people, not a big percentage of people, because it was out in the open. So no one. It's like when you tell people they can't do anything, that's when they want to do it more. When you make stuff legal, that's when people they have a choice to do it out in front of the open. They don't want to do it. Like, you don't see everybody just running down the street with a bottle in their hand, just taking it to the head, like doing prohibition. It's just one of those things that it's this weird thing that everybody thinks differently, but then there's this other part of we don't want to sometimes recognize that is a part of the environment of being humans. Like,
it's just the forbidden. It's like a kid will run around, never notice anything about that door until you tell them don't open that door, and then now all they can think about is opening the door. Or like two people having an affair with each other can't leave each other alone and think they're madly in love, and as soon as they leave their spouses to go be with each other, they break up because they can't stand each other, right? But like when it was forbidden, it was the most exciting, most amazing, most magical relationship of their whole lives, right? So that's exactly it.
It's like like why do people have sex outside in a public place in a park late at night when they got a whole house they can be in? You ain't supposed to do it. It's exciting,
right?
Exciting and new. Come aboard. Anything new.
Hey.
You know what though? But no, I think a big thing is when it comes down to this whole cheating, side dude, side woman thing and whatever, what we have to realize is this. Because I think that overall, both men and women in society today are very unrealistic. Because everybody expects to both get their cake and eat it too. Everybody, right? Everybody wants all of the things on their list fulfilled, and they don't feel like the other person needs any form of fulfillment, right? So it's like I think that I deserve a man who is a super alpha, who earns so much money, but has all this free time every evening to spend all his time with me, and of course paying attention to me because he's very in touch with his feminine side, but he's not feminine at all, right? He's just in touch with his feminine side enough that he wants to listen to me endlessly as I talk and share with me and cry at sensitive movies. But of course I want him to be ravishingly into me, so sexually attracted to me, but like only when I'm in the mood 3 times a month. And the rest of the time he should literally not even realize he has a penis, right? And then men do the same thing, right? Like, I want her to be a sexual wild beast, but only when I want her. Otherwise, I want her to basically be a nun and a virgin before I even met her. And, with that being said, though, I think she should sleep with me on the second date, because why should I be investing in dates unless whatever? But she's got to be damn near a virgin when I meet her, of course, right? And then she should be submissive and this and that and all these things to me, and I should have to give her nothing. Why should I have to emotionally invest in her? Why should I have to make her feel fulfilled and content? I paid the bill, didn't I? Who cares about her feelings, right? So it's like we're not being realistic, right? We want everything from someone, right? And we're not really realizing that if we're gonna get their everything, right, and we're not willing to give them their everything because that's too much, right? No one can really fulfill that. Well, then there's got to be compromises. As Dre said, there has to be compromises made, right? Or you should just be honest and say, yeah, listen, you're a whole bunch of stuff that I would like, and you hit all whole bunch of boxes I would like, but I can't fulfill your needs, so I'm sorry, I can't be there. That's it.
But you know what? I can understand that, but it's like, what situations are we talking about? Are we talking about people who are in long-term dating relationships? Are we talking about people who just met? And when I say that, my whole thing is that of these people that we're talking about that are dating and they're expecting all this, grandiose, behavior from the opposite person, does this person have a job? At the end of the day, the average person has to work at least 8 hours. So, outside of that 8 hours, where is the time to dedicate to this relationship and give you all this extra special, specialized individual care that you claim that you need? And has this been discussed? When you start spending time with people, time is something that you cannot get back. We cannot get back the last 20 minutes of this live stream. We can go back and do a replay, but we don't have any power to go back and change anything we said or did or didn't say, or whatever. So it's like you don't have time to change this. So what is it that we're really talking about? Are we talking about people that we're really investing time in? If you're talking about somebody that you really like and they really like you and you want to invest time in that person, then that's something that you want to cultivate. But it seems like in this generation that we have going on right now, everybody's all about smashing and getting and doing what feels good. And then when, all these disastrous outcomes, appear, it's like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened. And, all I wanted was, just an innocent feel good time. Well, then go to a prostitute for an innocent feel good time, because that's what you're going to get. But if you go into something where, woman thinks you're trying to have a relationship and it just gets to be so convoluted. What the hell?
I should say, for the record, across humanity, humans have always been all about smashing, almost constantly, since the dawn of time.
Well, yeah, that is
chaotic, right?
That's just human nature, and as human nature, what can we do? It is midnight. The show is over. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. I appreciate your time. I will ask that you guys come back tomorrow for article reaction, because you know how we do it. If you don't, I'll play the commercial on the way out. But until then, I want you guys to stay safe and peace.
Cheers, y'all.
Peace out, family.
Hey folks, it's your nighttime, it's your right time DJ Music. Make sure you join Char Willie each and every Saturday, 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central, for article reaction, right here on your local YouTube channel. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe to Article Reaction.